Hello everyone, my name is Steve Samuel from Design Visionaries, and today I would like to share with you some geometry that I'm excited about. There is a horn called a shofar, and I thought I would share with you the techniques that I use to build this really neat shape. So, without further ado, I'd like to show you that what I began with was a sketch that looked like this. It was a very simple sketch that I then revolved. Just push this over here. There you go. And I had a surface. So there's a revolved surface. Then I put a helix on that surface. Twink, like that. And the helix command is very easy to use. It asks you to select a surface and create a number of turns, and it asks you for a target, etc., counterclockwise or clockwise. So there's my helix. And then, of course, I put a plane at the end of that helix. The plane was a curve point plane, and so that's right at the end of the helix. Then I did a sketch on that plane, and the sketch looked like the shape of the shofar horn, and then I did a sweep. Now the sweep that I did, let's just isolate it here. The sweep that I did, oh here, let's take this one away and just show this one. Sorry. Okay, there. So the sweep that I did was just a sliver, if you will. It was a sliver that enabled me to see, as a shape is driven along the center line, what orientation it would wind up in. So there's a center line, if you will, this edge that I'm sweeping along, and this edge just shows me the direction that I need to put the next sketch in. So the next thing I did was put a larger sketch at the end of the center line, but I oriented that larger sketch so that this part of the horn, this flatter part of the horn, would then correspond to this section, the smaller section. So the horn goes from small to large, and I do that with these two sketches, but the little intermediate surface that I created just allows me to know exactly what the direction is that I need to use to place these sketches. So then I did a loft. The loft is a very powerful command. There's really a lot there that you should know about the loft. And when you go to the loft command, you can select profiles, and then you could do guides and paths and mess around with the continuity. So that's really important. So what I did was I selected the first section, I selected the last section, I selected path, I selected that center line as the path, but then I had to give it a section count. Without the section count, it doesn't do a smooth transition between the two sections. And as you can see, here are these purple sections are interpreting, or I should say interpolating, between the small sketch and the large sketch. So that's why this number is 20. Fantastic, yay for the loft command. Then I have a surface, so what I did is I filled that top and that top. So I did fill those two surfaces there. And then those two surfaces form a closed shape, but they're still just surfaces. And so that's when I did an enclose, and an enclose makes it one big fat shape. And then I shelled it out to give it a definite wall thickness. So then I basically had the structure of the horn. Terrific. But then I wanted to write the piece on earth there, and I also wanted to give it a mouthpiece. So you blow into this thing like a trumpet, and if you have a good embouchure, you can get a few different notes out of it. It's like kind of like a bugle, really. And so I did a sketch and a revolve and some fillets and such. And so I had a nice little mouthpiece on here from which I can blow notes. And then I wanted to write the peace on earth there. So I did an isoparametric curve. I'll show you that little curve there. So there's the isoparametric curve. And the isoparametric curve helped me place planes. So there's a plane on the isoparametric curve. And then I placed a sketch on that plane. Let's go here. It's thinking about it. There we go. And as you can see, the sketch is just the entities, the text entities. I then projected that sketch onto the surface. And so I've got to show you the curves for that. There you go. And then once you have curves projected on a surface, you can go ahead and split that surface. And when you split that surface, what you're really doing is making separate surface patches on an individual surface. Now, the split command has a number of really great options, if you will. You can split a part, you can split a face, you can keep the tools, you can keep both sides. So this is really a powerful tool. You can trim with this tool, you can subdivide faces with this tool. So all in one is just a lot of really cool things you could do with this split command right here. And then finally, I did a thicken. The thicken helped me to make the letters stand out, and then I just edited the appearance. So there you have it. There's my shofar horn. I'll hit the P command to get rid of the datum planes, and there it is. So now all I've got to do is get somebody to machine it out of a perfect piece of ram's horn or silver. I'm just kidding. So it's really great that you can so easily use a combination of tools, as always, to really help you create more complex geometry. It's many cases to create complex geometry. You just have to know the various commands that come together as a technique, and then you could do something wonderful and share it with your friends. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, share, help us out, help us to get the word out that we have all these different techniques and we have this creative community that solves all of these wonderful problems. Definitely send me comments, interact with me. I try to read every one, try to respond here and there. Can't always, but engage with us. The Design Visionaries crew is very thankful to have you as viewers. And like I said, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.